Hello drummers, and welcome to this completely free video song lesson from me, Rob Litton at drumstheword.com. Today I want to show you how to play the complete song Someone Somewhere in Summertime by Simple Minds, drummed by the great Mel Gaynor. This song was suggested over on my Facebook page, and so if you want to make your own song suggestions, then please go over there to do so. You'll find a link beneath this video. And as always with my free lessons, I've got the full PDF drum chart for you to download from my website for free. You'll find every single page of the chart over on my website. The link is beneath this video. So have all 4 pages of the PDF drum chart printed out in front of you. It's going to make following this lesson a lot easier for you to understand. And while you're over at my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. For $97, I give you access to over 500 full video song lessons just like this, but we'll get to that at the end of the lesson. So to start off with, medium tempo, 99 BPM. And I've written here intro, ride cymbal and hi-hat. So I'm pretty sure what Mel's doing at the beginning, he does it in the middle of the song as well, he's playing between 2 different cymbals, and I think he's playing the right cymbal with his right hand and the hi-hat with his left hand. It could be, I could be wrong, he could be playing, but I'm definitely hearing a different stroke with the right hand to the left stroke. It could be, except on a real crash cymbal it wouldn't wash like that. But I think he's playing between the right cymbal and hi-hat. It really doesn't matter. I just choose 2 different cymbals. If you really wanted to, you could play just on the one right cymbal. But there is an open hi-hat note coming up at the end, which makes this way a lot easier. Underneath that, he's playing quarter notes on the bass drum. So we're playing 16th notes up here, 1 E and a 2 E, and quarter notes downstairs on the bass drum. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E, and just right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, all the way through. Keep both hands the same sort of level. Don't make one hand stronger than the other. It goes on to the second line. We get 4 more bars of that simple groove. And then the intro ends with the third line with just 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the second bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, E and a 1. So right at the end there, that last 16th note you play with the left hand on the hi-hat, the of 4, 4 E and a 1. Opens just for that 1/16th note and then closes as we go into verse 1. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And you do naturally want to strike that last note a little bit harder than you have been previously to make sure you get a nice clean open bark on the hi-hat. So there goes on to verse 1. And now Mel definitely moves just to the hi-hat. So double-handed hi-hat stuff. And we're just simply playing the same thing for the first part of the verse. 1, 2, 3. So really simple so far. Most of the song is pretty simple. It's some of the drum fills, and when the snare drum gets involved, it gets a little bit more complicated. So bear with me. The second line is exactly the same, except for that last bar, bar 4, the snare drum is just introduced on beat 4, just for 1 beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Just that 1 snare drum note on beat 4 there to look out for in the second line of the verse 1. And also you can sort of hear it coming because Mel naturally sort of accents the hi-hats leading up to that beat 4. That was, 1, 2, 3, and a 4. Something like that. It's not, I haven't notated it because it's not important, but you sort of feel him building up around beat 3 to the snare drum on beat 4. So before we go on, let me now play for you those 2 sections. So very simple, I'll play the last line of the intro and then both lines, or lines 1 and 2 of verse 1, up to speed so we can hear how all that sounds together without me yakking on over the top. Here we go. So for the third line of verse 1, just more of this, 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth line though, and it sort of starts in bar 1, but then it definitely continues in bars 2, 3 and 4, becomes a lot more clearer what he's doing. Mel starts to accent the hi-hat on the ands, which happens to fall with the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's a bit more advanced. If you want to leave out those accents, no one's really going to miss it. But if you listen carefully, you can hear him sort of building it up from bar 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and he's settles into it by the end of bar 1, into bar 2, 3 and 4, where it's just accenting the ands. Just a little bit of dynamic difference there leading up to our first bridge. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and. The last bar of that verse 1 is an open hi-hat on the and. So instead of accent, well, you still accent it, you'll just open it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we can have and, no, don't strike the hi-hat on the as loud as that, but we're opening the hi-hat on the and, a beat 4. Then we're going into bridge 1, where you get these overdub stuff throughout the song. It sounds like extra drums were being added. So I think for bridge 1, definitely later in the song, when we get these crash cymbals on beat 4, they're either overdubbed with something, or the something underneath is the thing that's overdubbed. A tom or a snare or some sort of, I forget what it is now, but it's not important because you can't replicate that. So the best way to do it is just, and this is how Mel plays it live, is strike the crash cymbal on beat 4 as we'll see. So we're playing the same thing as before, except the open hi-hat now on the and of each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Opening it for the full and then on beat 4 we're getting these crash cymbals. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now it's a 4-bar pattern. Bars 1 and 2 have that crash on beat 4. Bar 3 doesn't, and then bar 4 has that crash on beat 4 again. Same for the second line, except bar 4 ends with a drum fill. So the drum fill we get at the end of that line, the end of the page indeed, 1 and 2 and 3. You're then going to come up to your highest tom. This is a 3-tom transcription. Coming up to your highest tom with your left hand, 3 E and then 4 E and So you can see the hands don't change. It's just right, left, all the way up to the drum fill. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1. Underneath it, the bass drum is still pumping underneath. 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1. If you wanted, you could keep the hi-hat opening on the ands. Just keeping the hi-hat going there on the ands just to make it easy to go to the next section, because that open hi-hat thing continues into our first chorus. So, onto page 2, and I'll play this up to speed for you in a moment. Chorus 1, crashes on beat 4 are overdubbed. So this is definitely an example of that overdubbedness, where you've got the snare drum and like an effect, big crash cymbal occurring on beat 4. This was definitely overdubbed in the recording, so you can't play, you can't get to a crash quick enough, so you either choose to play the crash cymbal or the snare drum, and the snare drum is the most important part here because the backbeat is suddenly brought into the song on beats 2 and 4, while still maintaining that open hi-hat pattern. Now, at the end of that first line, we get this really cool repeating idea for the choruses, where he plays an extra snare drum on the E of beat 3. That comes down with the left hand. 1, 2 and 3 E and 4 E and 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. Nothing changes with the hi-hat, right, left, all the way through. It's just that one note, you come down to the snare drum for the E of 3, creating that really cool extra snare drum note. So create a 2-bar loop. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. I do like that. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now, at the beginning of each line, we get a crash cymbal also. So the second line of chorus 1 is exactly the same as line 1, with the 3 E and 4 at the end of bar 4 and a crash cymbal at the beginning of each line. So before we go on, let me now go back to page 1. I'm going to play for you the last line of verse 1, where we start to get those hi-hat accents, the whole of bridge 1, and then the first 2 lines of chorus 1, so we can hear how all 3 of those sections work together. So from this point onwards, we've pretty much got the whole song. It's just a couple of drum fills that vary it, but they're the main grooves and sections of the song. So the next two lines of chorus 1, lines 3 and 4, are exactly the same, except the very last line of chorus 1 doesn't have the extra snare drum on the E of beat 3. It's just 2 and 4 on the snare drum. And then we go into bridge 2, where we're moving back to the right cymbal and hi-hat, the same options we talked about at the beginning as well. And I've written here, note the cowbell is overdubbed. So we hear like these extra cowbell notes being played just for the first 2 bars, I believe, but they are overdubbed. If you wanted to sort of replicate it, you just come off this double-handed hi-hat pattern where those cowbell notes land and it'll work, but I don't think Mel does that live. So back to this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same for the second line, 4 more bars. The third line is 2 more. It's just 2 bars, and we have the open hi-hat at the end. 3, 4, 1. Moving to the double-handed hi-hat for verse 2. And interestingly, for verse 2, bar 4 of line 2, the last bar of the page, we get that snare drum falling on beat 4 as we had previously. But instead of playing the bass drum with beat 4, he plays it just after on the E of 4. So slightly different feel. 1, 2, 3, 4 E, 1, 2, 3, and 4 E, and that was a bit sloppy. Basically, don't play this. Wait for the bass drum. Don't play it on beat 4 with the snare drum. You play it just afterwards with the left hand on the E of 4. So a 2-bar loop, you sort of hear how it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E, 1, 2, again, 1. So listen out for that. That's a cool little section, little idea. On to page 3, verse 2 continued. Now, at the top of top of page 3, we get the only example of a double stroke roll being used in the song. He's on the double-handed hi-hats. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E, and the and the are doubled up into 2 32nd notes. Three E and a 4 E and a. Those 2 notes, 2 16th notes, are doubled up into 2 32nd notes. Quite fast. Get it smooth as well. Not sure if that's sounding particularly nice on this electric hi-hat, but that's what he's playing there. You could try and replicate it by playing it as singles. But it just naturally comes out, it doesn't sound the same. That's what he's playing. Definitely optional if you want to leave out those double strokes. If you can't even attempt to play double strokes at that tempo, then don't worry about it. It's not important for the song. But it's there, so I thought I'd include it. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that then continues then for those next 2 lines, 2 bars, standard stuff. The second line, last line of verse 2 continued, is just 4 bars of the double-handed hi-hat and bass drum. Then we go into bridge 3, where the open hi-hat starts again, and we get that crash cymbal on beat 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Bar 3 doesn't know, bar 4 does. Then the second line, a new idea, snare drum backbeat on beat 2. So one more thing added to the mix. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So snare drum on 2, crash on beat 4. That's our backbeat kind of thing. Then bar 3, it just both notes on 2 and 4 are backbeat snare drum. And then bar 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E, we get the drum fill starting on the and of beat 3. So 3 E and a little open hi-hat on the E of 3, which you can definitely leave out, but it's kind of cool in a recording. It's sort of an upbeat open hi-hat note on the E of beat 3 for E, and then up the highest tom and a 4 E and a 1. So 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And again, I'm still playing the bass drum underneath. And a 4 E and a 1. Right, left, right, left, right, left, all the way through. So then we go on to chorus 2. So before I do, let me play for you the second line of bridge 3, because there's a lot of stuff going on in that one line. Here we go. So for chorus 2, we got the same idea as chorus 1. Each line ends with the 3 and a 4 on the snare drum. Each line starts with a crash. First 4 lines are exactly the same as each other. The 5th line, though, the bottom of the page, we get a little drum fill at the end of bar 4. 1 and 2 and 3. So hi-hat on beat 3. Then we come down to the snare drum. Again, it's just a line of notes. In this case, starting with the left hand. 3 E and up to your highest tom. 4 E and So. So 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. And the bass drum I think is going on the quarter note underneath it as well. So I'll play this up to speed for you in a moment. That's good fun, that. Starting on the E of beat 3 again. So then on to page 4. We get standard stuff for the first line, except the very last bar we get 1, 2, 3 and 4 and a 1. So instead of just playing 4 E and it's 4 E and a 1. So an extra 2 little notes at the end of that line on the and the of 4. So E and 4 and a. The second line is exactly the same as that first line with the same ending. So E and 4 and a. And that's where the song starts to fade out. The last 2 bars are the last 2 bars you hear before on the recording I had. The song completely fades out. And that's how the song ends on the recording anyway. So before we finish, got a few little ideas there. So back to page 3, I'm going to play from the last line of page 3 so we get that cool drum fill. And then basically the rest of page 4 to the end of the song. Here we go. So if you've got any questions about any of that, feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. Don't forget to download the free PDF that came with this website. Again, the link is beneath this video. And then while you're at my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, for $97, you get full access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's over 500 full video song lessons, including at least 2 other Simple Minds lessons. I'm sure I'll be adding more stuff from them in the future as well. Very popular bands, great drummer Mel Gaynor. As a thank you for signing up, I'll give you even more. I'll give you hundreds more videos teaching you many, many famous drum beats, fills and even drum solos. I'll give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. I had to think about that. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.